Okay.
Thank you. Welcome everyone for our 115th Interfaith and Prayer and Discussion. And today we got Minu, who has been with us for a while, some time, and to be able to give us a talk today. And welcome, Minu. Welcome everyone for our 115th Interfaith and is it repeated discussion? And today we got Minu, who has been with us for a while.
Sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. I would like to honor and acknowledge the country we all live, and especially we all live in Sydney, those who live in Sydney, Australia. We acknowledge and pay respect to the past, present, and future traditional custodians and elders of this nation we call Australia, and the continuation of cultural, spiritual, and educational practices of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. We acknowledge Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander tribes were the first sovereign nations of the Australian continent. The Gadigal of the Eora Nation are the traditional custodians of this place we now call Sydney, and Wangal people are the traditional owners of Burwood or Inner West area where we live. Thank you. Please mute your mic unless you are reading.
Eva, we have no sound.
One second.
This is an emergency.
Can you hear?
No, we can't hear it.
I've been holding for
You can't hear?
Yep, we can hear now.
so long. Scared I might slip away. Sometimes I just feel so lost, but I know that I'll find my way. Oh, I cannot lie, it's hard sometimes I lose my mind. Constant whispers in my head, temptations hard to fight. But I know that if I lose your guidance, I'll go blind. That is why I need you. Oh, Take me out of darkness into your light. I know I gotta stay strong, trying hard every day. 'Cause 100 times I've been so wrong, but I know I can make that change. Oh, I cannot lie, it's hard, sometimes I lose my mind. Constant whispers in my head, temptations I defy. But I know that if I lose your guidance, I'll go blind. Protect me, my Lord. Oh, show me the way. Oh, don't let me stray. Oh, I need you. Oh, I beg you. Oh, take me out of darkness into your light. My Lord, I'm grateful for your mercy. Whenever I fall down, you pick me up. 'Cause you're the one who's always there for me. Oh, show me the way. Oh, don't let me stray. Oh, I need you. Oh, I beg you. Oh, take me out of darkness into your light.
Helen, you able to read, please?
O my God, O my God, unite the hearts of thy servants and reveal to them thy great purpose. May they follow thy commandments and abide in thy law. Help them, O God, in their endeavor and grant them strength to serve thee. O God, leave them not to themselves, but guide their steps by the light of thy knowledge and cheer their hearts by thy love. Verily thou art their helper and their Lord. Baha'u'llah. Say, no man can attain his true station except through his justice. No power can exist except through unity. No welfare and no well-being can be attained except through consultation. Baha'u'llah.
Be united, speak in harmony. Let your minds apprehend alike. Amen be your prayer. Amen be the end of your assembly. Amen be your resolution. Amen be your deliberations. Alike be your feelings. Unified be your hearts. Common be your intentions. Perfect be your unity. Rig Veda.
Now, in understanding wrong understanding as wrong and right understanding as right, one practices right understanding. And in making efforts to overcome wrong understanding and to arouse right understanding, one practices right effort. And in overcoming wrong understanding with attentive mind and dwelling with attentive mind in the position of right understanding, one practices right attentiveness. Hence, there are three things that accompany and follow up right understanding, namely right understanding, right effort, and right attentiveness.
Let the women live in Nida in the same style as ye live, according to your means, annoy them not so as to restrict them, and if they carry life in their bones, then spend your substance on them until they deliver their burden. And if they suckle your offspring, give them their recompense, and take mutual counsel together according to what is just and reasonable. The Quran, Surah 65. The great being says, the heaven of divine wisdom is illumined with the two luminaries of considerations and compassion. Take the counsel together in all matters. Inasmuch as consultation is a lamp of guidance, which leadeth the way, and is the bestower of understanding. Baha'u'llah, tablets of Baha'u'llah, revealed after the Kitab-i-Aqdas, page 168.
Consultation bestoweth greater awareness and transmuteth conjecture into certitude. It is a shining light, which in a dark world leadeth the way and guideth. For everything there is and will continue to be a station of perfection and maturity. The maturity of the gift of understanding is made manifest through consultation. Baha'u'llah. Settle all things, both great and small, by consultation. Without prior consultation, take no important step in your own personal affairs. Concern yourselves with one another. Help along one another's projects and plans. Grieve over one another. Let none in the whole country go in need. Befriend one another until ye become as a single body, one and all. Abdu'l-Baha.
The prime requisites for them that take counsel together are purity of motive, radiance of spirit, detachment from all else save God, attraction to his divine fragrances, humility and lowliness amongst his loved ones, patience and long-suffering in difficulties, and servitude to his exalted threshold. Should they be graciously aided to acquire these attributes, victory from the unseen kingdom of Baha shall be vouchsafed to them. Abdu'l-Baha.
The purpose is to emphasize the statement that consultation must have for its object the investigation of truth. He who expresses an opinion should not voice it as correct and right, but set it forth as a contribution to the consensus of opinion. For the light of reality becomes apparent when two opinions coincide. A spark is produced when flint and steel come together. Man should weigh his opinions with the utmost sincerity, calmness, and composure. Before expressing his own views, he should carefully consider the views already advanced by others. Abdu'l-Baha.
In all things, it is necessary to consult. This matter should be forcibly stressed by thee, so that consultation may be observed by all. The intent of what has been revealed from the pen of the Most High is that consultation may be fully carried out among the friends, inasmuch as it is and will always be a cause of awareness and of awakening and a source of good and well-being. Baha'u'llah.
Thank you, Siva. Music.
After an
And
embarrassing start to the Border Gavaskar series.
thanks. And today we got Minu Hatami, who has been be with Interfaith for a while, and she's going to talk to us about consultation. And I would just like to tell just a small background about Minu. Minu is a certified master in relationship coach with counseling and mediation background. At this stage, Minu is in private practice, mostly on Zoom and online. Minu's interests are in providing pre-marital and marriage workshops, also like working with clients with interfaith, interracial, and migration challenges. And today in our reading, we had on 2 readings, especially we had consultation as the source of good and well-being, and also consultation settle all things great and small. So we look forward to hearing what Minu is going to talk to us about consultation. Thank you.
Thank you, Marina. Thank you. And thanks, Siva, for the opportunity as well. And in a way, I'm aware that my understanding of such a big topic is very limited. And I'm hoping after my presentation, we all can share our views, and this way we understand more about the topic. So I start sharing the PowerPoint here. Can you see it big or no? No.
You can make a little bit bigger.
Oh yeah, I'm trying. Yes, I'm trying with just moving the screen so I could show it in the full, but it doesn't go up somehow.
The bottom right hand of the minus and plus, if you press the plus a little bit, bottom right hand.
Bottom right hand.
Yes.
On the more.
On your below the slide.
I don't see. Yes, now I can see it. Now somehow it was up there and I couldn't see it. Yes, now I can see it. Yeah, okay, good. So there are different, in a way, the consultation is a type of decision making and finding out about the truth. And there are different types of decision making, as you know. The first one is authoritarian method, which is based on power. For example, the king, you know, what they tell their people that to do these things, and army commanders to their soldiers, and bosses to their employees, and parents to children. And some men as well control their wives, especially in the underdeveloped and developing country. Of course, not here, but in other places. The second type of decision-making is adversarial method, which is based on power struggle and competition. For example, political parties, how one is against the other and trying constantly say that the other one is wrong. And in workplace, and some workplaces, and families, some families, and between nations as well. And we are very familiar with the time that a country wants to choose a president or a prime minister, how conflicting things can be, and how there is so much power struggle happening. And the third one is group decision making and resolving conflict by consultation. So tonight, my focus is more on Baha'i consultation, and I'm using other sources as well. So what is Baha'i consultation? Baha'i consultation is not simply discussion or airing the views of those participating. It is a collective investigation of reality with the goal of finding equitable, constructive, and just solution within the framework of unity. So unity is the framework with for everything, we need to have that part. And in the Baha'i writing also, consultation has been stressed a lot, and Siva shared a few of them. And I've got some duplicate here as well that I will share. And between Siva and myself, we thought, it doesn't bother, we go more in depth by repeating some of them. I hope it's okay with you as well. So here is one of the quotations that previously was read as well. No man can attain his true station except through his justice. And no power can exist except through unity. No welfare and no well-being can be attained except through consultation. I feel this is very strong one, and it would be, just so good if we could apply it constantly in our life. And the next one is as well that consultation bestows greater awareness and transmuted conjecture, which is like something which is ambiguous, into certitude. It is a shining light which in a dark world leadeth the way and guideth. And for everything there is and will continue to be a station of perfection and maturity. And the maturity of the gift of understanding is made manifest through consultation. And the next one, settle all things, both great and small, by consultation. Without prior consultation, take no important step in your own personal affairs. Concern yourselves with one another. Help along one another's project and plans. In any group, however loving the consultation, there are nevertheless points on which from time to time agreement cannot be reached. In a spiritual assembly, this dilemma is resolved by a majority vote. There can, however, be no majority where only two parties are involved, as in the case of a husband and wife. There are, therefore, times when a wife should defer to her husband and times when a husband should defer to his wife. But neither should ever unjustly dominate the other. And the next one also is in reference to the, did I read this one? No, I think.
You just read it.
Yeah, I just read it. So I go to the next one. Yeah, this one. I meant to go to this one. You have asked, however, for a specific rules of conduct to govern the relationships of husband and wives. This, the House of Justice does not wish to do, and it feels that there is already adequate guidance included in the compilation on this subject. For example, the principle that the rights of each and all in the family unit must be upheld, and the advice that loving consultation should be the keynote, that all matters should be settled in harmony and love, and that there are times when the husband and the wife should defer to the wishes of the other. Exactly under what circumstances such a deference should take place is a matter for each couple to determine. And here are some virtues that are very important in the process of consultation. There are more, but I thought, these are the main one. So purity of motives, when our intention should be pure, we shouldn't go to a consultation meeting or with an agenda that I have got this point and I need to make it across and I need to win. So having purity of motives, that I go to this consultation with the aim of finding the truth and finding a way that is suitable for everyone and is equitable as well and is just. So purity of motives, unity. If unity is not within the group, it doesn't work. And devotion, courtesy, care, and dignity, all the way that we speak, how we can be courteous and have care and dignity for ourselves and for the other person as well. And detachment from our own ideas, because when we are putting our ideas forward, when we are contributing our ideas, this idea belongs to the group, is not mine. I need to detach myself from that. The next one is modesty, and how with humility I need to express if I'm thinking, I'm right and I'm just there, just to do my job being here, but without really have the humility of accepting, seeing the other point of view. This could help a lot. And having patience, because later on, as we see, there are lots of differences that we have, and how if we are not patient, this consultation could not work, the process would not be successful. And moderation in our speech and service, how we are doing this process as a service for contributing to finding the truth or a solution that could work for everyone. Steps in the process of consultation, or stages in the process of consultation, is that firstly, we need to understand the situation. And information should be gathered from the widest possible sources, seeking a diversity of points of view. And during the discussion, participants must make every effort to express their views frankly and honestly, while maintaining a courteous interest in the views of others. And after that, after everyone has said their view, of course, if they want, some people might be just listening, but if they want to contribute, they can contribute, and exchange of ideas could happen. And after that, there is a conclusion. Normally, the moderator or the chair or whoever, is formed the meeting, they can make a conclusion of what is being discussed. And after that, decision be made and have a plan for action. The next one stage is implementing the decision. And after it's been implemented, after a while, set a time to evaluate in terms of to see what has been the result of this. Has it been successful or not? And if yes, that's fine. And if not, how can we do it next time that it could be better? And within that, of course, there is always a possibility that things might not work out quite the way that we have expected, and how we can modify the way. And through that, always we learn and grow. Growth happens through this evaluation. There could be a time that no decision is made. Some discussions are not intended to lead to a decision. For example, during conferences, workshops, study classes, or study groups, the purpose of consultation in these cases are greater knowledge, understanding, motivation, or inspiration. And from now on, I'm sharing some slides from the book Developing Genius by John Colstow. And I think that's a very interesting book. And I encourage you, in case if you haven't read it, read it, because it's amazing how it talks about the concept of creating genius through consultation and the impact of synergy as well. So it's very interesting. If we could imagine that this is the circle of truth, and there are 8 participants that they are trying to find out about the truth here. Person A, B, C, D, and F. As the consultation starts, as the information is shared and people start to sharing their views, here some people are discussing, and there is overlapping ideas with what is the truth in the middle here. Person B, C, D, and E, they are contributing, and each one, some has got more share of the truth and some a bit less. And person F is outside. He is not, is inside the meeting, but he is not contributing. And person A is just there as well, maybe listening. Of course, hopefully is listening. And here, when the ideas are expanded during consultation, as you can see, each person is becoming more into the circle, and their ideas are overlapping as well. These ones are quite close together, and there is overlap. And person F has got some part in it as well, but person A still is outside. And of course, this is fine. Not everybody needs to say something, as long as they are present and they are listening. And if they've got ideas, they share. Otherwise, they can be quiet. So this is the time when the flow is quite good and everyone is contributing. And there could be time that when there are sorry, this is the next one after that. Still there is more, the circle is becoming bigger. The circle of truth is becoming bigger, but still the person A is there. As you can see, there is lots of overlap here. And this one, when there is contention and suspicion within the group, so they are not progressing much. Each one says something, person B and C and D and E and F, they are saying things, their views, and yet their intermingling is of the truth is not as much as the one before, because because they have suspicion between themselves, and maybe their intention is not quite good, or whatever other reasons. This is much harder for them here. And person A is still outside the circle. In this case, maybe the chair can say we need to investigate more about whatever information we need to have, and postpone it to a later date so everybody could think about it, or gather more information and then come back together. This is one solution. This is when, in the process of consultation, the idea well runs dry. So people, they don't know, they don't have any other ideas, and they're a bit bogged down and they don't know how to proceed. And but here, I'm sure lots of you know about different ways that have more creative ideas. That could be, just doing things that could be moving around a bit, or physical movement, or maybe imagining, just saying, somebody could say, imagine that if you woke up and had and noticed that you're half the size of what you are, what would you do? Or just imagine 10 ways that you can do things with the milk bottle. Just trying to open the well of creativity a bit more. And with this one, it could work, because there are lots of exercises that could be done to tap into creativity. But if it doesn't work, still maybe is not the right time and needs to be postponed. And this one is when partial understanding is achieved, and by not achieved, but this person has got just partial understanding, because he works with hammer and a screwdriver and all these toolbox, and he wants to fix the light bulb, maybe it's burned. This doesn't work for it, so he needs more ideas. And here is Mr. Fast, Mrs. Fast, or Miss Fast, and Mr. Slow. So this could have, lots of ramification, and there is tendency that one saying to the other, you are wrong, and no, your ideas are not right, you are too fast, and I can't pace up with you, and could create some difficulties. And in these cases, there are lots of, we need to understand really, how each person is different, and their style of thinking, and their frame of reference, and their life experiences. There are lots of things that could be different, for each one could be different. And because of that, they are in this way of expressing themselves. So I thought maybe, we can do an exercise here, just could you, maybe the first thing that comes up to your mind, what do you see here? Maybe each person can say, what do you see? There is no right or wrong. Just say, what do you see?
Sea. I see the sea.
Boat.
The sea.
A boat is coming. I can't see the whole boat.
I think it's a shark's fin.
Yes. What else?
I think the boat arriving.
Yes. What else?
Like a cloud in the
He and the sail of a boat coming towards.
Yes. What else?
there are a vibration of so many thoughts coming from everyone.
Yes. Yes. Anything else?
My heart is singing.
Heart is singing.
Hmm.
Wow. Heart is singing. Yeah, okay, good. Anything else?
I think it's a raindrop in ocean.
Wow. Yes, it could be. Yes. Anything else?
Can it be a broken heart upside down?
Yes, it could be. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. We are exploring how this is just one simple drawing and how many views we have. And as you know, our eyes, our two eyes, the right and left, they operate very differently because each one sees from different angle. And then when we see something, the right one and the left one, they take, the picture their job is to do, and then through an optic nerve, this is taken to our brain, and over there, the image makes sense, or we understand that this is the image that we see, or maybe we don't understand it, but this is an image, we can describe it. So just you can imagine if our own two eyes operate differently, how two other people, in case of the husband and wife, or two close friends, or in a group, how things could be differently seen from each person. So when we apply the virtues and know that these are the virtues that when we come together, we need to put into practice, then we can get a sense of what the reality is, or the decision that we want to make. There was something else I wanted to say that I forgot, sorry. And this is the expansive vision, and this is the limited vision. But each got their own place as well. And here the globe has no, I can't see it here. Sorry. No, I lost it. This one. Can somebody read it? What is written here?
The globe has no voice for its own defense.
Yes. Yes. So this was what I thought to share here. And now we are opening you for any comments or question. Anything is welcomed.
Thank you, Mino, for your talk. It's I was thinking consultation is a big topic when you look at all the virtues. It's a lot we got to follow. And I can understand there's quite a lot of things. And having all of them, is it possible for any human?
Sorry, could you say it again?
The virtues for the consultation, you had about 7 or 8 of them.
Yes.
In real world, it's a bit hard for anyone to have practice. I would say maybe more than 3 of them.
Yes, I think, yes, in reality, to us now, where we are in our stage of development, it seems hard. But these are what we are expected. The way of life, and something for our own well-being, and for our, just the relationship, and for our community. All we had to strive. And of course, I'm not perfect, and I'm not applying all of them, but just the matter of striving, isn't it? The striving and knowing that if we try to apply it, our life would go much better. And it's also growth opportunity. For each virtue that I'm lacking, there is a chance for me to identify them and see, how can I make it better? How can I grow from that? And how can I reach my potential? Because the virtues potentially are in all of us. But of course, some of us are stronger in some part, and some of us a bit weaker. But as much as we can, we are here to grow. This is my opinion. Maybe the other can share as well.
So if we have 1 or 2 or 3 virtues, and if we meet someone with none of the virtues, it's difficult life for everyone, and we cannot have the unity in this world, isn't it?
Yes, and this is what we are struggling. Our world is struggling in this stage, isn't it? And how different it can be if it's applied. So we've got Siva and Mei Jung, and then Colin.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation, and also a lively cartoon from John Colstow.
Yes.
Yeah, they are very nice. And there are a few points that I like to mention. One, you said that in that one of the slides, the globe doesn't have a voice to defend itself. I was thinking, I was thinking about the indigenous people of this country. They don't have a voice to defend themselves, and they are looking for a voice. And I think consultation is an important thing for bring these changes in the world. In though it is emphasized by Baha'u'llah, it is not only for the Baha'is, it's for the whole world.
Yes.
The other thing is that when a group is trying to find a solution to a problem, the unity of that group is an important requirement to get the solution. But there's also a dynamic that works, that more that we consult on a regular basis on issues that affects us, the unity is also enhanced. So it is a dynamic process, both unity and consultation. I just want to share, this may not be immediately relevant to what, but you showed something and asked, oh, you see something, but we have different views. Ahmed actually sent it into our group sometime back. I don't know how many views. Can you see this?
Yes.
Yes, what is it?
He shared this. I don't know how many of you saw this, but I'll play this.
You haven't started from the beginning of it, but it's okay.
Anyway, I just wanted to show that the same, it was a two-dimensional drawing, and that the paper was false, but depending on the angle of the camera or whatever it is, it shows different shapes or figures. So we had to be cognizant of the fact that the same thing that different people views at different ways, and therefore there can be views that are contradictory or different from ours. And the purpose of a consultation is to bring the common understanding. So we are thankful that we have these guidances.
Yeah, thank you, Siva. Yes, Young, Colin, and then Marina. Then after that, Zoe.
Thank you, Minu. What I read from your lecture is the consultation in a family nowadays, the family unit nowadays become like very difficult to go through consultation, because you see, according to media statistic and government response to domestic violence, husband and wife nowadays, and including children that run away from home, no consultation there, no religious study about consultation in their family. And so the government had to put respect. If you have problem with domestic violence, then ring this number, respect. But the government didn't put consultation because they have no time for consultation, and they jump the step. They jump right to the bottom step, like, run away from home, do this, do that, detachment, but they don't go through the process, like step 1, step 2, step 3. But if you work at a workplace, you will have boardroom, you have board members. They do consultation first, and then general manager doing divisions consultation, and then you go to committee hearing, committee work groups. You go through different workforce, and then you do consultation. So all the major decision making already done, then filter down, top-down control. So also no consultation that's supposed to be done properly because they have no time. They have no budget. They have no time for meeting and talk like step one, step two, you know, it's no funding for that. So that's how I see it. And because, you know, consultation is supposed to be well-being, but like, just like fair, you know, like dismissal, instant dismissal. If the worker cannot go through negotiation and consultation, give the bosses, they got to be sent out to the door because they cause too much trouble. Just like in a family, the kids that run away, 14 years old run away, no issue. Live on the street easier. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's very, very correct. What's happening at the moment, what you're saying, you know, is very real. It's unfortunate that it's happening and it's real. But I think, you know, just maybe with time, hopefully. Colin.
Yeah, I thought the diagram of those circles overlapping and not overlapping related well with the optical illusion which Siva put on the screen, because obviously everyone's going to have a strong view. They say, no, this is a square. If they think they found the truth already, one says this is a square, and that's my view, I'm going to hold to it. And someone else said, no, it's a house, and so forth. And it's a little bit like Parliament. They form their views based on political parties and decide that's what they're going to defend. So the Parliament doesn't really become a place for consultation and finding the truth. So in Menu, in that diagram with all the circles, that represented different views. So the truth was there, whether the truth is some fact of a situation or the best way forward to resolve something. So the truth is there, and hopefully they're all trying to get to it. But would you say unity could be there as well? If they've got different views, are they united or disunited?
What I understand is unity could be there, and the different views are quite good in a way, as they spark something in each other that this is like act as a trigger. So for them, they could think, oh, this could be a different aspect that I can see, that I haven't noticed before. This is the potential of sparking more thoughts, more views, that it could be more conducive, and at the same time has the potential of maybe not accepting. And of course, when the unity is not there, then there's a problem. There's a problem, and each one wants to stick with their own views and insisting that my view is right and not accepting. So this doesn't get anywhere.
So different views doesn't mean disunity necessarily.
No. And in a way, they can different views are good in terms of sparking new ideas, because then a synergy is made. Because synergy, as you know, is 1 + 1 is not 2, is 4 or 5. All the differences in a way are very good, as long as we are aware what's happening and we are respectful to the views of others, and not wanting to dominate or just thinking that my views are right. What do you think, Colin?
Oh yeah, I agree. It's very hard though if you see consultation as a process. It's much more comfortable to believe you've got the truth,
Yes.
and you're going to dominate, or to be submissive and just go with the flow. Adopt one of those positions. It's very comfortable. To be in an uncomfortable position of entering a process, not knowing what the outcome's going to be. I think that's could be quite a learning and growth process for a lot of people and a lot of cultures.
Yes, yes, that's true. That's true. Yes, thank you. Marina.
Would Zora like to go first because I already had a turn.
Yes, thank you, Marina, and thank you, Mino. I just wanted to know, or to if you could explain more detachment, because I think it's very hard when you put something on the table and it's yours, like you love, your idea. But I'm sure, yeah, I thought maybe you have some. And also, I wanted to say the globe has a big voice because we have all this climate change and all this tsunami, whatever is happening suddenly, the change, greenhouse effect and all that is the voice of the globe. Yes. But detachment, I want to learn to be detached.
It's a good one.
It's a hard one.
It's a hard one, yes. Yes. Does anyone else would like to answer? Because so I don't talk always.
Well, I mean, that is one of the biggest challenges, and also in at least from the Hindu religious background that I was from, and in the Baha'i teachings, the purpose of life, it says that it's to know God and to worship Him. But at the time of, Baula says, at the time of the death or the separation of the soul, the one that is detached or free from all these things becomes closer to God. So that is a virtue that we have to constantly focus on it. But in day-to-day life, there are certain things that we have to be mindful. Now I'm saying something. Now I like this to be accepted by others. So that is an attachment that I have towards my view. Now I had to learn to detach from it. So there are certain outcomes that we want in our life, but be prepared to accept what that comes. That is a detachment. So Lord Krishna said that do your duty and do not expect any benefit for it or whatever it is. So that is something very, very important. But we have to be constantly remind ourselves, am I detached? Every time that we feel a pain in ourselves, within ourselves, in our heart, in our mind, stress, I think I should immediately remember that I am attached to something that is what is causing my pain.
Thank you, Siva. Thank you. And I might add as well that possibly, that's the hardest virtues here, and but at the same time, the most rewarding, the hardest and the most rewarding, because if I learn to detach from my own view, being open-minded, and go to a meeting, either two people or more, just with the idea of finding the truth, finding what is the right things here, I could be aided somehow more. I think that I don't know how to explain it, but there are unseen or power that could support me in this, because I'm doing it as a service to my other human being, and for the betterment of everyone and for the sake of unity. And my purpose here is to find out the truth, whatever it could be. Maybe it's against what my own idea initially I came in, but then I think it can be rewarding and at the same time the hardest as well.
Thank you.
That's okay. Marina.
Yes, thanks, Minu. I'm actually trying to think. With the age, does virtues of consultation increase? Because I was just looking at the circles you had from the start, there was this F or E, one of them out all the time, one of those letters, and then he came in the circle a little later. Does that show that with our aging, or as the law, when we get older, virtues of consultation increases and our understanding of it increases with the age? Like, I'm not comparing for a child who's under 16, but between the age of, say, 20 to 40 is different from 40 to 60 or something like that.
Yeah, so what is your question? What was the question?
Are we all sort of better when we get older with the consultation?
Yeah, could we say it depends? It depends. If with age we are more mature or not. For some people it might not change much, but for some hopefully yes. Because, for example, with driving a car, under a certain age, young people cannot drive because some of the connection between the neurons of the brain and all that hasn't developed yet. And then, is it possible I can see for myself with my own children that they can see things that I haven't seen before, or the point of view that I haven't considered? So, of course, this is different from the young children or from the teenage years. Possibly is the most turbulent years, but then after that, there could be lots of maturity that they could have as well. So I'm not exactly sure. If anybody would like to answer this question, that would be good.
I think I would say that yes, as we age, because of our experiences, individually they become better and better, and also potentially every human being has all the virtues, but it is through these life experiences that we try to develop these things. So in the individual case, yes, it will become better and better, but it does not mean A at the age of 15 will have a lower quality of these virtues than B, who is at 40. A at 15 can be better in consultation than B, who is 40. But for B, when he becomes 60, he will be better than what he was at 40. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. Thanks you. Vasanta, and then Helen, and then Robert.
I have two questions. One is from the list that you had. There was one of them is moderation. So I just want you to please expand on that, what moderation is. And the other thing I want to do is when we have an issue, we have to decide with whom we consult. So how do we decide with whom we consult on a particular issue? We cannot go and talk to anybody who will whether have any good input onto what the subject we like to consult.
Thank you, Vasanta. What I share my understanding, and then I invite others as well to share. My understanding of moderation is that I don't, when I'm putting my forward. Is it echo? There is some echo. When I'm putting my views forward, I shouldn't be going to the extremes of being very emotional and not being able to control myself. I need to calm down and be mindful, and at the same time use the language which is appropriate for the meeting, because for the Baha'is, for example, for each meeting that we go, we say prayer, we seek God's assistance. So we are not only taking ourselves, but we are taking an army of angels with us, so they can guide us as well. And the language that we are using needs to be conducive to unity. This is my understanding. And the next one, what was the next one? Sorry.
When we, on our topic, if you want to consult how
Oh, yes. To what I understand is, if I, for example, I've got for a physical illness, I need to go to a specialist in the field. And also for maybe the matter of educating my children, I need to go to someone that knows about in the field and knows have knowledge about it. And for my relationship, I can go to someone that I can trust and discuss it with them. They trust their judgment. So this is my view, and anybody else that would like to share. Siva, have you got response to your wife's question?
She had heard enough from me, so I would like someone else to elaborate.
Somebody else, maybe somebody else. Helen, can you respond to this? Or
I'm not responding. I just want to mention something that I've been thinking about while you've been talking about. In the dim, dark, distant ages, I did a social work course, and we set up role plays. In any group, apparently, they said, that were running the course, there are sort of 4 different kind of personalities that can emerge. There's the blamer, there's the preacher, there's the avoider, and the peacemaker.
Yes.
And we set up these role plays, and people would play these roles. And then, you know, another 25 years on, I was on this wonderful assembly. We met every Tuesday night for about 3 or 4 years before I had to leave the town. And the difference was just so amazing, you know, because we were all sincere, and yes, there wasn't anybody terribly young. We were, you know, there was, but nobody terribly old either, not as old as I am now anyway. And but it was an incredible difference, you know, when you've got a group of people who've got these purity of intention, sincerity and detachment from their opinions. It worked brilliantly. Yes, it was brilliant. Yeah.
Yes. Thanks, Helen. Thanks. Robert.
Manu, thank you for your talk. I haven't got a question, but I have heard that Baha'is in the business world, particularly when they're in chairing a meeting, have actually used the Baha'i ideals without saying it's from the Baha'i faith. And that's what the rest of the group meeting is actually discussed on, using Baha'i consultation.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but very true. Because the result is good, isn't it? The outcome.
Very good. And as I say, the person chairing the meeting hasn't said it's a Baha'i idea, but he said, this is the way we're going to conduct our meeting today, doing this. And
yeah, great. Thanks, Robert. Thanks. And Helen, do you still want to say something? No. Okay. Anyone else?
It's actually past my bedtime, and I'm going to leave.
Thanks, Helen, for being here. We know that you're in New Zealand and 2 hours ahead. So possibly about 10:30 your time. Thank
Two
you.
hours, 2 hours ahead in time, and some.
Yes, thank you for being here. Thanks for your contribution. Ahmad.
Yeah, do you think that humanity is reached to a point now that our governing systems must be based on consultation rather than having, one person ruling over others? And then if that's the case, then we really need councils all over the world that people can sit there, or nominated people can sit there and consult about governing the body, being a governing body.
I agree with you that I think it's past time. But also depends on the maturity that of all of us and the nations, and how we are going forward with us. Jung, and then have you finished, Ahmad?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Jung, and then Siva.
Thank you, Mino. What I'm experiencing is just talk about safety and fairness to everyone in the workplace, for example, and it's carried out compassion, as you say, consultation and compassion. People step into the consultative committee meetings, especially when it's dealing with OHS, occupational health and safety. They should have an agenda, so they list out all the items that need to be consulted between the work group, between management, executive senior management, and then if they want to invite trade unions representative to come in and sit with us. So then they have 1 hour, and then after that they got to produce a minute writing. And then if all the action items agree to be work on, we need funding, we need budget, we need finance, and then we need project management team to do what we ask them to do. And we will be like a supervisors to check out all the completed work. So therefore, like I agree with you, step by step by step. But for the family environment, as I say, the family environment, they don't have time, luxurious time, to sit down and talk properly like that. So all the children get upset. Mom and dad can't agree with each other, and lack of balance between power, like you say, husband and wife, and dominant wife or dominant husband, I don't know who, but then that creates conflict.
Yes.
So it's not unity, you see,
No.
and harmony. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Jung. And this is unfortunately, in most places, this is happening. But we know the consequences of that as well, and the drawbacks and the suffering that the family goes through. So there are better ways that maybe little by little we could introduce and work towards that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Siva.
Yes, I just wanted to share the prerequisites that you actually mentioned, but we also read in the quotation. Abdul Baha said this: the prime requisites for them that take counsel together are purity of motive, radiance of spirit, detachment from all else save God, attraction to his divine fragrances, humility and lowliness amongst his loved ones, patience and long-suffering in difficulties, and servitude to his exalted threshold. Should they be graciously aided to acquire these attributes, victory from the unseen kingdom of Baha shall be vouchsafed to them. So I think this is a very important guidelines for us. If we have these qualities when we consult together, then there will be divine assistance to achieve whatever we have to achieve. And this is important for us only individually as family, in the community that we are living in, whether in the workplace, as Robert mentioned, to try and introduce these concepts, not necessarily tell that this is what Baha'i faith is telling, but to say that this will be helpful to transmute conjecture into certitude, to arrive at decisions that are acceptable to everyone. We should have these qualities. And also Paula says, in all things it is necessary to consult. This matter should be forcibly stressed by thee, so that consultation may be observed by all. So I think we have to, in our own way, when we are sharing with the friends and others, promote the use of consultation for making decisions.
Mhm.
And it's not, when I say that, it doesn't mean that I have always purity of motive. It's not that I am always detached, but I am trying to remember this and to learn to practice this. And I think when Colin earlier said that when people have consultation, different opinions are likely to be there. But that is not this unity. The unity that is talked about is that we as a group here, we are trying to understand something. We have a unity of goal or unity of vision. But we have different way of looking at this issue of consultation, how to do it. So through this consultation, what we are doing now is some sort of discussion, is consultation on consultation.
Yes.
It becomes more clearer when we talk about these things. So that's, we should try to promote as much as possible, even if it is among couples, husband and wife. Yes, there are people who are dominant. There are issues conflicting, but believing what a human being is, a spiritual being, potentially they have these qualities, they will eventually, gradually change. We have to believe. And if we exercise detachment, patience, one of the prerequisites was patience and long suffering in difficulties. So if we exercise that, we will be patient with the other partner. Yes.
Yes, thank you. Thanks, Siva. Good points. Thank you. Zohrijan.
Thank you, Minu and Marina. Haven't heard Marina. But I just want to know, is this practice of consultation is like encouraged in the families from very young age? Like, have you done or no, when children from very young, even they say like 1 year old, or just talk to them and until they grow up and become, older, is that practiced? Encouraged, or have you heard of?
Yes, definitely. Definitely we encourage family consultation. And of course, maybe, not the 1 year old, but as the kids are a bit older, maybe 2, 3, I don't know exactly, but when they can understand, getting together and saying we want to consult about this matter. Of course, it's relevant for the child, and the child, how much they can understand. And then say we want to do this. What do you think? Asking each person around the table, what do you think? And each person can say, and if there is some positive aspect to it, maybe the parents can say, or negative, whatever it is, so the children could get used to it. And gradually it needs to be continued. Some families as well, they make it on weekly basis. getting together and they're saying this is the family time that we want to have. And within that, maybe saying prayer and having a nice dinner, and then saying, just what's been happening, what's been good during the week. So the kids, this could be actually, hearing from them about their day. This could be done every night or every afternoon, whenever is convenient. But in terms of the consultation, it's coming together, making it special. I remember some families, would make it like their teenage daughter was a bit troublesome, and each time they got together, they were lecturing the teenage girl, and she hated that. She didn't like it, and was very against the family consultation. But if it's conducive to unity and understanding where the child is, and this is the job of parent, isn't it? So gradually they get used to it, and making it a special time for the family. This is my experience. I don't know if somebody else wants to share.
If you can, if you remember, Arani, when she gave a talk, she mentioned that you can, children as young as even 1 year old, you can do these things. If you listen to the video again, you get the chance.
Yeah,
but
yes.
it can be done and it should be done, but maybe that we are not doing it, but it is possible. I
Yes.
think we have Panja and Bahre, they have not said anything. Otherwise, we can. We are fasting and I haven't broken my fast yet.
Yes, it's the fast night. Yes.
I
So
think just one sentence I would like to express. I think in many matters, consultation is a solution to many things. In everyday life and in politics and everywhere, sometimes things happen. Suddenly, problems crop up. So by getting together, a few of us in the home, in the village and all, we can come to a conclusion to help each other, even the nations of the world. When there's some tragedy or like the earthquake and war, if the nations come together to consult and all together work in unity, they can solve lots of problems. So consultation is a way of solving many, many problems and I'm for it. Thank you very much.
oh, thank you. Thank you, Panja. Baharija, would you like to share something?
Allah, sorry, I'm using my mobile.
That's okay. That's okay.
Me and Bahara are sharing. So Bahara was, we were also doing breaking our fast as well.
We are enjoying listening to everybody's talk, and it's been a wonderful conversation, and we are really
learning a lot.
Learning a lot. Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks for being here.
And I just wanted to say on the detachment, sometimes we look at it as something that we have to learn for others' benefits when we detach, but it's actually for our own benefit, and it's opening our own eyes and getting more opportunities. Because if we are not detached, then we are closing ourselves with other opportunities that are around us. And we get this narrow-minded thing that we have to get to what we want to get. And so that's my understanding of detachment, that, we explore other options by detaching ourselves from our own opinion.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you for what?
So, as Mr. Perry said, the breaking the fast is about, I think, almost 8, but it's way past 8. And if there is no other comments, maybe we can close.
I think can you see the screen?
Yes.
This is Colin shared this And just now,
being key to reducing high conflict is breaking out of the binary. The idea that you can't sort of reduce a situation, whether it's political or personal or professional, to the idea that there are only two sides or that there are only two possible solutions. And when you say institutions don't come from God, you actually do talk about one faith that you saw and learned about in the context of naturally setting up a system that does not reduce things to political parties or to political binaries. And I wonder if you could just talk about the Baha'i faith as what you saw it being able to teach us about how to do politics better.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because I didn't know really anything about the Baha'i faith before I started working on this, but the book was really about, you know, casting a wide net and seeing, are there examples of institutions that do conflict better institutionally, in sort of enshrined in what they do. And the Baha'i faith is really interesting. You know, the concept of it is that we're all connected, right? There is no us or them. So sort of fundamentally, foundationally, the idea is that we're very interdependent. So in some way that's particularly appropriate for this moment in history when we are so interdependent, as we saw with as we are seeing with the pandemic and many other things. So the idea is that the Baha'is revere Jesus Christ and the Prophet Muhammad, believing that all major religions come from one spiritual source. Started in the mid 1800s in Iran, has spread just about everywhere. There are 150,000 adherents in the United States, with the largest community in India. But anyway, what's interesting is, so that, you know, it's a pretty significant, small, but, you know, global faith. And there are no ministers, no clerical leaders to run things. So how do they make decisions, right? So what they do is, and this is essentially one form of politics, each spring, everyone in each of the 17,000 Baha'i locations gathers together to elect leaders. So, you know, it's close to a pure democracy operating in some 233 countries, right? But here's the twist. Everything about these elections is designed to reduce the odds of high conflict. Because the thing about high conflict is, once you're in it, it's very tricky to get out. It's very magnetic. Lots of psychological and sociological reasons for that. But the ideal is to stay out of it, right? Like, don't let it start. So these Baha'i elections, there are no parties allowed, no binary categories. People are not allowed to campaign for a position, even if they want it. You can't even discuss who would be the best person. You can only discuss which qualities are most needed. And then when they do the election, it's basically a pretty, you know, sober process. After a prayer, each person writes down the names of 9 people who they think have the experience and character to lead the community at that moment. There's secret ballots, and then the 9 winners, you know, are announced. There's no celebrating. It's considered a duty, not a victory, right? And then once they have the people in place and they have to make decisions for the community, deal with conflicts that arise and budgets and all that sort of thing, they have some other traditions in place to keep the ego in check and keep high conflict less likely. One of which is their meetings are called consultations, and they do things like, if you propose an idea, if I, Amanda, bring to the table an idea, once I propose it, it's no longer my idea, it's the group's, right? So there's like these little things that sound small, but actually play into how humans work, and particularly in conflict, to help reduce the odds of the kind of binary us versus them dynamic that we know tends to lead to high conflict. So it's kind of interesting.
Thank you. It's very interesting and very promising too.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that. Well, it's just joining and we had to say to him. Well, we are about to close. You are just joining us. Show your face and say goodbye. If there anyone wants to say anything, you can while